So guys, before we get started, don't forget we do have that amazing discount code thanks to Tier 0 Games going on right now. And all you have to do is put in ZW Games 5 to get 5% discount on your total order at tier0games.com. The links will be in the description below. What's up YouTube, Dara here from Zephyr War Games. And before we get started, I'm sorry, okay? I didn't have to. I built a Mystic Mine deck. But before you switch off, this one is incredibly fun, and it's not as degenerate as the burn version. And it is, of course, Exodia Mine. Now, I couldn't turn up the opportunity to probably play or have a decent chance of playing Exodia in 2019. Now, I only play this purely for fun. I personally won't be taking it to big events, but if you wanted to, as long as you do the right side deck and the right kind of extension build, you can actually have quite a lot of luck with this deck as well. What I'll do is I'll take you through the profile and I'll show you like a really cool kind of combo towards the end as well, that lets you complete Exodia even if you only have 2 pieces or more in your hand as well. So I'll take you through the profile, we'll show you what you got. So of course it is an Exodia deck, so you do play all 1 pieces of each of the Exodia, so the right arm, right leg, left arm, left leg, and of course Exodia himself. For the other monsters, we play triple Lilith and 1 card D. I'm tempted to bump card D up because it actually is part of the combo. And when I play the combo, if your opponent doesn't have Called by the Grave or an Ash, and if you really want to protect the combo, you can play stuff like Bells and Bells and Lanciers as well. Card D is insane. It gets you. You've got other ways instead of card D, but it does get you your last pieces of Exodia. For the spells, of course, we've got triple Mystic Mine and triple Pot of Extravagance, triple Pot of Duality, double Instant Fusion. Now, the Instant Fusion is actually very important and quite relevant. There's still one thing I need to check out, so hopefully if you guys know, put it in the comments down below. But one thing that I've learned is, obviously the bad thing about mine is if you open it up, you can't play it unless you normal summon a monster or have a monster on board. So the way I've kind of got Instant Fusion is it actually combos off with the next part, which allows you to get the last 3 pieces of Exodia, but I'll explain that as we go. So you play the Instant Fusion, you bring out Millenniumize Restrict to stop you getting hand trapped. Then if you play Mystic Mine, now my question to you guys is, and this is something I need a bit of clarity on myself, is if that's the case, Instant Fusion obviously self-destructs the monster in the end phase, and Mystic Mine goes off in the end phase. So does it work the same as you Senjus and Demise, in the sense that while I've still got the 1000 Eyes on board from Instant Fusion, can I resolve Mystic Mine, which checks the board and says, okay, cool, this player has got 1 monster, that person's got 0, I can stay on the board, and then Instant Fusion goes off to nuke it? Do they happen in the same chain? If so, can I do Chain Link 1, Chain Link 2? So this would check the board, and then Chain Link 1 will go, cool, I'm getting rid of this. Like, how does it kind of work? That's one thing I need a bit of clarity on. But regardless, Instant Fusion is still very good because you've got 1000 Eyes to go second to bait out some cards and steal one of your opponent's monsters, which you're obviously going to get rid of in the end phase. And then going first is for Millenniumize Restrict. Next up, we've got double Ledger Main. Yes, it is still a terribly bad card, but it is quite good in this deck because you deck Fin, you obviously stall under Mystic Mine for 3 turns and then get your Ledger Main to hand, so you plus the 3 cards as well. Then next up, probably one of the best cards in the deck, and that's Draw of Fate. Now, not many people know what this card does, but it's actually very good. So if your life points are lower than your opponent's, and your opponent controls a monster with the highest attack, so that's why we play Upstart. Upstart gives them 1000, will be lower. Instant Fusion takes 1000, will be lower. And your opponent controls the highest attack monster, which they probably will do under Mystic Mime if you play it right. Place them on top, so you reveal 3 cards with different names from your deck, place them on top of your deck in a random order, then draw 1 card. For the rest of this turn, after this card resolves, you cannot set spell or trap cards, also you can only activate 1 more card or effect this turn. So, this is part of the combo. If you've got 2 pieces of Exodia in your hand, and card D, or if you've got like a Reckless Greed set, something like that, what you do is you play Draw of Fate, you stack the final 3 pieces to the top of your deck, and then it gets put into a random order. You draw 1 off of the Draw of Fate, And then as long as you have the ability to draw 2 cards, whether it be during your opponent's standby phase or during your end phase with card D, you get the last remaining pieces of Exodia and obviously win that turn. So technically, if you open up well enough, and you open up Mine to stop you being OTK'd, and your opponent can't stop a card D, technically you'd have Exodia by turn 2 if you've opened up very, very well. You'd obviously need an Instant Fusion or an Upstart to change that, or if you get attacked in the face because you don't have Mystic Mine, then turn 2, what you would do is if you get a Mystic Mine ability, put Mystic Mine on board, lock your opponent's board out, so they can't Ash you, Ogre you, anything like that. Then you play Draw a Fate, stack your deck, and off you go. And then the last spell card we play is One Day of Peace, purely because if you don't open up Mystic Mine, or don't open up a way to get to Mystic Mine, One Day of Peace, even though it lets your opponent draw a card, it does give you that one extra turn of being protected and not being able to be killed, basically. Because the field spot is so important, we've got triple Mystic Mine, triple Trap Tricks. Of course, you get these off of Lilith. With triple Legacy of Yatagaratsu, it's just a trap card that gives you an additional draw, alongside triple Jar of Greed for that additional draw, and triple Reckless Greed. All self-explanatory. Your trap cards are all just draw, and thin out. And of course, the best thing about all these trap cards is Trap Trick can set them as well. So that's very, very good and useful. The extra deck, it really doesn't matter. Because obviously we play Extravagance, you do not rely on your extra deck at all. The only card you actually really rely on is Millennium Eyes and Thousand Eyes. You can play 3 of each if you want to, or whichever kind of combo ratio you need. Ideally, after you've activated Instant Fusion, you should only really be needed to play this turn 1, this turn 2. Obviously, if you want to max them out, by all means do so. And then the rest just doesn't matter. You can play any card you want in your extra deck that lead up to your 15 total. You just need the 15 total to be banish fodder for your Extravagance, and kind of put your plays further forward from there. And that is it. Very straightforward, very to the point. The Mine part of the deck is degenerate. The Exodia part of the deck is quite fun. Like I said, it's nice to see Exodia in 2019. The biggest issue with this deck is it does not have a way to recur from the graveyard. But that is where a different version of Exodia comes in, or where your side deck comes in. Like I said, you can play a lot of hand traps to try and disrupt your opponent as best as you possibly can. You can also play like Battle Faders and Swift Scarecrow, which is better because it doesn't leave you with a monster on board. You can also play Slash Draw to recur your graveyard, so you don't mind about losing these cards. So you get the Slash Draw, you can play Card of Demise that way as well. What you've got to be wary about is if your opponent called by the Graveview, that is when your pieces are gone. Obviously, the other weakness of this one is quite a lot of people are playing the Neospatian combo. So if you open up any of these pieces and the Neospatian rips it from your hand, that's it, you've lost your win con. This is your only win con in the deck, so it can be quite susceptible. But like I said, it is just fun. It is just to be able to play Exodia in 2019 for a bit of fun is always good. There's different ways you can try and play around with this deck if you actually do want to take it to a big event and try and cause a lot of issues, which it can certainly do, because Mystic Mine is just that type of card. But obviously everyone is going to be preparing for Mystic Mine, which is the other downside as well. But just for a fun build of Exodia, you know, give it a go, see how you find it. Everything's actually really, really cheap, apart from Trap Tricks and Lilith's. Everything else is quite and Extravagance, but these can all be replaced. Like I said, you can up your card Ds, you can up your Draw of Fates, you can even put in, which I personally don't like this card, but it can work, is Accumulated Fortune. And then, like I said, you can put hand traps in to be more disruptive of your opponent. If you don't have Mine. That's the issue, is if you don't have Mine, you can struggle a little bit as well. But that is it. It's Exodia. Exodia in 2019. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it gave you a couple of ideas for like playing around with some builds yourself. Like I said, I fully enjoy, you know, being able to play Exodia in 2019, and Mystic Mine certainly helps you do that. How long Mystic Mine will last, we don't know. But that is it for the deck profile. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. If you do have any questions, put them in the comments below. And if you know that answer of Mystic Mine with Instant Fusion and how it kind of resolves, please put that in the comments down below as well. I'll be quite happy to figure out how that one works, because if that's the case, then Instant Fusion is actually an incredibly good card to work away with Mystic Mine if you need to go first. But yeah, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. And as always, guys, happy dueling. What's up, YouTube? Dan here from Zephyr Games. Thanks for watching that video. If you liked it, please hit that big thumbs up button in the bottom corner as well. And don't forget to hit the big red subscribe button so you don't miss out on anything. And make sure you click that notification bell as well so you know every time one of our new videos goes up. Throughout the whole year of 2019, we're going to have more deck profiles, duels, and of course pack openings for you guys to watch and enjoy the entire year round. So stay tuned for more, and as always guys, happy dueling.